users will not be paying for it. It does not mean that it's actually free to use. We're definitely paying for powering it the same way you pay to get like an AWS server or Google Cloud server to run your code.
Got it. And as you increase users, then you have to increase the amount of RAM you stake.
Yes, yes. One of the patterns that we're doing right now is to have a small commission taken between transactions that are happening that we can actually stake back on the platform based on the number of transactions that are happening in order for us to scale with our user base.
That leads to another question. I don't understand why there are two tokens. Why do you have to exchange EOS for RAM? What's the purpose of having a two-token system?
So in a sense, RAM is not a token. So the EOS token itself is called EOSIO.token. RAM itself is called EOSIO.RAM. So it's like another currency, but not a cryptocurrency. It's like a currency in the not the literal sense, basically.
You're actually just renting a limited resource.
Got it. So it represents real world RAM. It's not, okay.
And you only rent it when you as soon as you're through, you sell it back.
Got it. So
maybe for a profit.
As more machines come online, then it should directly correlate to an increase in supply.
Yes. As I mentioned, RAM itself is a volatile storage, meaning you can put stuff in and then you can remove stuff out. In a sense, you're leasing or renting that with your EOS. It's not really buying, because you buy it and then you sell it. That's what the command for it is.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll take two last questions, one and then we'll give. You guys should discuss who has a better question, and so two questions, and then Bo, you got a minute, and then we'll wrap it up. So if you guys can pass this.
This concept of governance, it makes sense kind of philosophically, but I'm wondering if you're a user of EOS, maybe you have a stake, so maybe your vote is proportional to that, but how are you actually voting on things? How is that communicated to, is it all machines, or the way that works is fuzzy to me.
So, voting itself is simple. You have your account, you have your user account, you go on the command line as part of the network, you connect to the network, you run something called vote, and that itself will do the voting for you.
I get that, but if this is to become mainstream and governance is a huge part for the layman or someone who doesn't know what a command line is, maybe there's a UI or something.
There should be a UI, but there's no UI right now. One of the main criticisms I've been seeing is you guys have so much money, why not build a UI, right? I feel for this to become mainstream, there needs to be a UI, and not only developers have to be able to do this right now.
And then you would have a system where you're voting on whether or not someone or a machine can do something, or a person can rent a house, or...
Basically, when you're voting for the block producers. You're giving your vote of confidence to them. So the block producer's job is to give tools, give back to the community, advertise themselves so that you can know that, okay, these guys are not evil or whatever. And then you decide, okay, I like these guys, I'll vote for them. You can also vote for others at the same time. You can vote for multiple block producers. As long as you do it, you can do it once with your EOS tokens. And that's it. I agree there needs to be a UI for this, and I believe that any kind of improvement to EOS is being in the works right now.
I think there is a voter portal, right? I think it's EOS portal or something.
I hope it's not a phishing website.
So there's also this gray mass wallet, as Amy just mentioned. So one last question. Which one? Very quick, okay.
So another difference between Ethereum and EOS that has not been shown there is the Ethereum community actually claims responsibility for the code, for the technology behind it, and also for the fund. But the block one, claims no responsibility for the code, for the white paper, for the technology behind it, but they are the major core developers behind it, and they claim no responsibility for the fund they raised. And I just wanted ask what your thoughts on that.
I like to explain this as, so Bitcoin, for instance, launched as a decentralized platform that slowly over time became centralized. EOS is launching itself as a centralized platform that slowly over time will become decentralized, which is why I'm okay with that approach. I can go into more details if you want offline.
Yeah, quick question. So in the slide you say it's difficult to update your smart contract in Ether, but does that mean it's possible? Because I want to know how. Is that a hard fork or?
Yeah, I've done that before. It's basically, instead of just deploying to one smart contract, you will have a broker contract that determines which version of your code it needs to go to.
Got that.
I think that's done using Open Zeppelin.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. And one
Thank you very
last,
much.
1 minute. Thanks a lot, Ollie. Feel free to talk to him afterwards. And so, Bo, he wanted a couple minutes here and we'll wrap up. Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Great talk, Ali. Yeah, thanks, Starfish, for providing this great venue. And then thanks, EOS Blocksmith, for sponsoring the event. And also, I'm Bo, the founder of EOS Silicon Valley. So we are a block producer as well. And then so basically, we are a team of the SF Silicon Valley veterans from Google, Lyft, Palantir, Oracle, and several small startups as well. So we're trying to bring EOS to Silicon Valley as well. But yeah, that's the boring thing. The interesting thing is we are